Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today in today's live. My name is Dr. Joyce Faraj-Ardura, and I am the founder of the Nutrition Counseling Academy. I am also the host of the Nutrition Coaching and Counseling Facebook community for dietitians and nutrition professionals. So if you're watching this, you're likely in one of these social media platforms. You might be watching this on YouTube, maybe on Facebook or LinkedIn, and I appreciate you being here. So let me just double check that I am live and that people can see me. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so welcome. I wanted to talk about how to know what to focus on in a session because, as you know, most of you, as you joined the Facebook community, you answered 3 different questions. Most of you did. One of those questions for the longest time was, what is your biggest nutrition counseling struggle? So I take all of your answers, and based on those answers, I look for topics that I can do these mini Facebook live trainings on. And today's topic is, how do I know what to focus on in session? So this one came up more than once, and I figured, okay, why not? Let's do it. So to start off with, when you use motivational interviewing, you're going to be paying attention to the client. According to the authors of MI, Miller and Rolnick, there's usually 3 different sources of the focus. And the focus tends to be the second aspect of your nutrition counseling session, nutrition coaching session. First, you do your engagement. That's you're asking all the explorative questions like, how are you doing? What are your wins and things like that. Then after you move from engaging, you move into the focusing. Maybe you're doing an initial assessment, and then you're going to go into the focusing. So the focusing can come from 3 different sources, and I'm going to go into each one of those. And thank you for watching live. If you're there, go ahead and say hi. I love seeing who's here. Okay, so the first focus tends to be from the client themselves. And I'm going to go ahead and say that the difference between MI and a regular conversation is that MI has a focus. That means that we're going to be working to resolve our client's ambivalence towards change. So we need to have a target behavior change in mind. Hi there. So we're going to have a target behavior in mind. That's going to be the focus. So the focus can be coming from the client. This more often than not the case when you have a client that's coming to you for whatever issue they want to work on. It can be, if it's like general health coaching, it can be several different things. So they will tend to be the ones guiding the course of the session when it comes to what they want to focus on. And that's perfectly fine. Now, the second source is the setting. If you're working in a diabetes clinic, well, then it's kind of obvious that your client's going to want to, come see you because they want to get their blood sugar levels under control. Maybe they want to prevent type 2 diabetes. Maybe they're right on the verge. Maybe they're newly diagnosed. So you know that that's going to be the realm of the topic. And the third source would be from your specialty. Now, many dietitians and nutrition coaches I've seen tend to have a specialty. I mean, when I'm teaching, I tell my students in medical nutrition therapy, the very first day of class, you should start thinking about what you want to focus on, what area, what niche, what is going to be your expertise. Because nutrition can be so vast, just like medicine. You're going to have better luck when it comes to knowing how to become an expert in MNT if you know what area to focus on. You cannot necessarily be a jack of all trades and be an expert at everything, right? So then the third source would be your expertise. So clients can come to you based on what you advertise, right? What you're an expert on when it comes to medical nutrition therapy. So those tend to be the 3 sources of, the focus. Now, within those sources, there can be 3 different scenarios. The first scenario might be that you know that the focus is clear. You know exactly what the client wants to work on, and it's something they're ready, able, and willing to start working on. Wonderful. There's no big discussion. The focus is going to be really quick. In that case, it's like a perfect match of a guide and a traveler. You know where you want to go, you know how to get there. Together, it's magic. So that's easy peasy. It doesn't mean there won't be any challenges. It just means that you have a starting point and you know where you want to go. Okay. The second scenario would be where there are several options and you need to decide, but you have like a general idea of what the client might want. Maybe they want to, improve their blood pressure readings. Maybe they want to avoid going from pre-diabetes to diabetes. Maybe they want to work on a particular health goal. So in those cases, you have several different ideas of where you can start. So you're going to have to dig into what might be the most feasible thing and what the client feels the most ready to start working on. You can have many ideas, but it's going to be essential for you and the client to work together in partnership to choose where to start. So this is what I call the therapeutic pathway or the roadmap. We're going to be working together, hopefully for more than just a few sessions. You know that they recommend there would be at least like 6 months to be working with someone, depending on where they're at. So think about what topics you want to be covering on those next maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months, or maybe even more. If you build a strong therapeutic alliance or relationship with your client, they might want to work with you even longer. Who knows? So in these cases, I would recommend using an idea mapping or an agenda mapping tool. And this is what it looks like. Let me see if I have a piece of paper. Haha, piece of paper from my printer. So in these cases, I would start by just, let me just do 5 circles. In these circles, based on your initial assessment with the client, you can identify what they need to work on, also considering their goal. So you might have maybe working on sleep, stress reduction, working on getting more protein, maybe having regular meals. I mean, I'm sure you can come up with 100 different potential interventions, but I will probably prioritize the top 3 or 4, and I will write them on this page. I would still leave 1 or 2 circles empty so that you also ask the client what they would like to work on. Maybe they already have an idea or they have a few things that they're really wanting to get back on track with. Maybe they're wanting to prioritize exercise, or maybe they want to prioritize drinking more water. So you can add those in there. And the reason I like having this paper like this is so that no one area is higher priority than the others. So they're all on a paper. And then together you can choose, you can ask your person, which, if any of these sounds like something you would like to start working towards. And maybe they can prioritize. This might be number 1, number 2, number 3. The only caveat is if you are seeing that something is urgent, that they need to be focusing on, let's say they have lab lab readings that are abnormal, and then you want to get that under control first, then you would say, wonderful, I see that you're interested in working on X, Y, and Z, but would it be okay if I discuss these labs that are abnormal, because that's concerning me a little bit? So you're asking for permission and you're showing them that you're concerned. It's genuine curiosity and compassion, asking for permission to be able to talk about that. And hopefully they're going to say yes. So that way you kind of choose a focus. The goal is to choose one focus, but if they want to work on this and the labs are also urgent, then you can talk about working on these 2 things. So I love this idea of agenda mapping, idea mapping, so that together you can choose what to work on first. You should also be asking your client, how ready, how willing they are to be able to work on a particular thing. You can be using a scaling question. On a scale of 0 to 10, how ready are you to start working on this topic that you chose? And it should be a high number. And if they're not giving you a high number, then you might want to ask them what might be getting in the way. Or if they're giving you, let's say they're giving you a 7 or an 8, ask them why not a 4 or a 5. Then they're going to give you more reasons as to why they should be working on that thing. And then you're going to reflect that and tell them back and say it back to them so that they know that they have plenty of reasons to work on that. Okay, so those are some of the ideas for when we have plenty of things. That's scenario 2. Scenario 3 is when the focus is unclear. So in these cases, you have to uncover what's beneath the surface and do a little bit more digging, have more exploratory conversations. So exploring can look something like this. you're going to have to maybe revisit or dive deep into your client's goals. Why do those goals matter to them? What is their motivation? And don't be shy about digging 2, 3, 4 more times and asking them why else? What other benefit can you see from reaching that goal? Talk about their current situation, so you know what the starting point is, and then help them understand where they're at compared to where they want to be. And then exploring options together, just brainstorming. Also think about everything they've tried in the past. And I like to take every single experience that someone has had in the past as a learning experience. So maybe you have someone who's done 100 different diets. I'm not pro diets in any way, but I would tell them, think about these diets and tell me what worked for you, or about all the things that you did try, what did work for you? What was something that you did enjoy that went well with your schedule or with your lifestyle? And make a list of those things. So they're going to start weighing the pros and the cons of the things that they've done that maybe they want to try doing again, and compare that to their values, to their goals, and to their readiness levels to see what might be, let's say, the lowest hanging fruit with the highest return on investment. Then that would be a good way to choose your focus with your client. Okay. And remember that your sessions with your clients are going to be a partnership. So you should be working together. It's when you come in with your own agenda that the client's going to be responding to you. Yes, but that means that they're not quite ready and the idea is not coming from them. So you have to be working towards their goals and working on things that they feel ready, willing, and able to do to be able to get closer to reaching their long-term goals. So a couple of questions you can ask your client, and you can write these down if you want. What sort of changes have you been thinking about making? What changes make the most sense for us to discuss today? And this is particularly important if you only have, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes with a client. So then you want to make sure you narrow it down as soon as you can. And if they don't know, say, okay, well, I have a few ideas. Do you mind if I share them with you? Boom, go ahead and show them the idea mapping. Or if you're in a setting where you already have handouts, let's say you're in an inpatient setting, someone has heart disease, you bring your 5 handouts, you tell them, these are the topics, which one would you rather talk about today? Or is there another one you want to focus on? I like always leaving that door open to any other change they might be thinking about, because it might be something that they've been thinking about for a while that might be a little bit easier for them. This is not the end though. Once you've chosen a focus, that's where the good part starts. That's where you're going to start digging into why that is important. And that's where you're going to be spending a lot of time evoking further motivation. It's not up to you to motivate your client or to persuade them. It's up to you to ask strategic questions to be able to get them to bring out or cultivate their intrinsic internal motivation towards behavior change. Because if you go from focusing to planning, you're missing out on the evoking stage, which I think is the most important one, so that you can retain your client longer, and your client knows why they're working towards that goal, why it's important. And that's going to keep them coming back, because you're going to know what motivates them. So if you have someone that goes from focusing to planning, you're going to have a client that leaves your session with a really nice plan, but with little motivation. And you know how feeble motivation can be. Some days it's high, other days it's low. So if you don't spend enough time in evoking, you're not going to be able to successfully support someone for long-term behavior changes. So then what does all of this look like, and why does it matter? Because as dietitians, the work that we do and how we do it is through nutrition, counseling, and communication. It's how we coach our clients that it's going to determine whether we can actually help our clients, and whether our clients will be satisfied with our work together, and whether they're going to be our walking billboards. Because if you're in private practice, your business will only be as good as your weakest testimonials, right? So you need to have good testimonials. You need to have provide a really good client experience so that you're able to grow. And if you're not in private practice, if you're in a clinic or in an outpatient setting, having good counseling and communication skills is going to help you be a very valuable employee when they see that all your clients are coming back and you're not losing clients, then it's going to show that you're providing something very valuable, and it's going to help you negotiate for your next pay raise or your next promotion. So whether you're in private practice or whether you're in a clinic hired by an employer, improving your counseling skills is of utmost importance, because it's not enough to have good MNT skills if you don't have the matching counseling skills. So then how can you elevate your counseling skills? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for a second. I think you can see both here. In the last year, I created the Nutrition Counseling Academy. Well, that was early 2022. And I've been creating this program. It's my baby, and it's pending for 26 or to 30 CEUs right now. So it's going to be a lot of CEUs. It's going to be an 8-week accelerated program for those who really want to take their counseling skills to the next level. And we start next week. It's called the Elevated Nutrition Counseling Blueprint. And as you can see, it's 48 lessons where I go through everything that you need to know to be a better nutrition counselor, nutrition coach. So I do focus on the therapeutic relationship, which is one of the strongest predictors of whether someone's going to make a change and stay with you longer. Then I go into the stages of change, because you need to have a good idea of how to assess these to be able to come up with an appropriate intervention for that stage of change. And then I also go into motivational interviewing in depth, so that you have a good understanding of the foundations of MI, all the principles, how to do MI, and how to put it all together in a nutrition counseling session. How do you define success? Managing expectation with your clients is going to be a big part of it. How can you identify and celebrate the wins, no matter how small, can help your clients from feeling frustrated with potential lack of progress when all they're focusing on is the end result. How to troubleshoot progress, what to do when your clients are not making progress, when they're stuck. Holding your clients accountable using MI. And then I also have challenges that you might encounter in your nutrition counseling sessions and how to deal with those, as well as some bonus trainings. So this is available as part of the self-paced program, which is 18 to 20 CEUs, which you can do at your own pace, and then you get lifetime access to this. Or you can also, and this is going to be paired with a workbook that I wrote. So this workbook goes along with the modules, and it has all the different activities that you can practice, exercises, prompts. It has handouts. It has self-reflection, so that you can reflect on how you're doing as you're implementing all the different content each module. And I recommend going no faster than 1 module per week. So it's 8 modules. It should take you 8 weeks to get through this minimum. So then you have all the modules. And then I'm just going to show you, for example, you have all of the practice prompts here as well. So there's a very beautiful pairing of a workbook and a self-paced program. However, if you want to take it to the next level, and you want to get personalized guidance and feedback, and be in an environment where you can practice your counseling skills and be able to, do them in a low stakes environment, you can practice, get feedback. You have a wonderful community of other dietitians working with you in that program, then this is the place to be. I only have 5 more spots available, and we start next Monday. This is a hybrid coaching program, 8 weeks. And in this program, let me show you. You're going to get the course library. You have unlimited access to that. You're going to get the workbook, and I'm going to send that to you if you're in the US or Canada. Otherwise, you'll be getting the electronic version as well. You get the live weekly coaching for 8 weeks. Then you're going to have accountability and support of like-minded individuals in a community setting. You're going to have expert trainings every 2 weeks. So these are going to be individuals who have been doing nutrition counseling for decades, and they have a wealth of experience. They're going to come in, and they're going to have a very informal Q&A. They're going to talk about different topics you might be interested in. So you're going to learn from many experts. It's not going to be just me or your peers, although that's a big part of it, peer-to-peer support, as well as support from me. But you're going to be learning from some of the best experts I can find in the realm of nutrition counseling. And these are not necessarily coaches. These are individuals who have been doing it for a long time. So their experience is invaluable. You're also going to have weekly Q&A and accountability posts to see what you're working on and how that's going. 26 to 30 CEUs actually, because the reviewers bumped it up. And you're also going to get one-to-one call with me where I can review your strategy, or I can actually review one of your counseling sessions or discovery calls. And I'm going to tell you what you did well, what you can improve on, and what was missing. So we come up with a plan for you to improve in that area. So all of this will start on September 11th. I only have 5 more spots available. And through Friday, so you have 2 more days, I still have the early bird special. So if you're interested, I have the early bird special for the whole program, which is $1,197, but you can get it into payments as well. I have 3 months worth of payments. If you need a lower payment amount, I can come up with a 4, 5, or 6 month payment plan for you. Just let me know what you need and we can adjust to your budget. And if you want only the modules and the workbook and you want to work at your own pace, and then maybe in a couple of months you want to do the upgrade to coaching, you're just going to have to pay the difference. So that would be option 2. And the early bird is going to be available up until Friday, the 8th. So you have 2 more days. So that is how I can help you elevate your nutrition coaching and counseling skills. But don't take my word for it. I have a few testimonials I would love to share with you as well, so you can see what others are saying about the program and they've been in it and they have gotten so much from it. So with that, I'm going to stop the share. If anyone has any questions, please go ahead and post them. I can see your questions. I might not be able to see who is asking the questions, but I can answer your questions. So I'm going to stick around for 2 more minutes in case anyone has questions. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to connecting with you. Feel free to send me a DM, comment on this post, or send me an email at nutrition.counseling.academy@gmail.com. Again, I'm Joyce Faraj-Ardura, nutrition counseling coach and the founder of the Nutrition Counseling Academy, and I'm your biggest ally for all things nutrition coaching, nutrition counseling, and I look forward to connecting with you. So I don't see any questions, but I do see some people are still logged in. So I really am grateful that you were able to join me today. I hope you got something out of today's live training. And go ahead and send me a DM if you have any questions. And by the way, today's training was just a very small snippet from the workbook. So I go into that in a lot more detail on all of the modules in the workbook. So thank you all for joining. Love you all. Take care.